Hello everyone. If you're new here, I'm Colin, and today I'm going to be making this bistro table from this slab. Now this video is sponsored by Woodworkers Guild of America, and I'm delighted to be working with them. This organization has been around for many, many years, and more about them later, but for right now, we need to get on with this table, so let's get started. Now there's many different materials that you can use to make a bistro table. I just happen to have this slab that I purchased at an estate sale probably 15 years ago. Moisture content is still a little over 10%, so that's perfect for what we're going to do. Now the first thing I need to do with mine is I need to flatten it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on flattening, showing you the whole process of flattening. I'll show you some clips of it, but then we'll get on to actually making the table. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take it outside because it's pretty dusty in here for doing the next bit. This was chippy, the next part is dusty, and that's where we're going to take the wire wheel on my drill and go around the outside. And I want to leave some of the patina on this if I can. Well, my slab is looking really good. It's nice and flat now. I've rough sanded it. The last thing I need to do before I put some finish on is I've got some little anomalies on top, which is one of the benefits of working with wood is we have these little anomalies. So I've got a couple of hairline cracks that I'm going to fill, and it looks like there's some old damage from maybe some wood bugs or something. I'm going to fill those as well. And I'm going to be using CA glue, and I'm going to show you as I go along just briefly what I'm doing and what the process is. So I'm going to zoom in so that you can see that. So you can see a few of these little divots and holes and so on here, and there's one of the cracks. Now you have to be careful with cracks because they can go all the way through. In this case, this one doesn't, and I'm using some CA glue here. I always put a date on mine so I know how old it is and if it's still good, and I've just checked it and it's fine. And I've got a special little nib on here, and when we fill these holes, what we try and do is follow the crack. So we use the little sort of nib on the end. And put my glasses on so I can see close up. There we go. And we just sort of follow that line, and we just put a little bit of CA glue just right in that crack. And the first thing we do before we get very far with it is we put some accelerator on it, and that sort of locks it in there, because if you don't do that, it can run way down deep inside. And I'm just going to come back now and redo that. And what we try and do is fill right about to the surface, and when we've done that, then eventually we let it cure for a couple hours or so, and then I will do a final sanding on this. So I'm just going to carry on and do this. I've got another one here. This is a hole here, and I'm just going to fill that with that, and it's going to fill it right to the surface. And I'm also going to put some accelerator on that, so that sort of locks that. Now I may need to come back and refill that, but I'll watch that later on to see how far it sinks in. You don't want to get CA glue too proud of the surface because it's very, very hard, and it's very hard to sand off, so you don't want to get big lumps of it because it's really hard to remove. Okay, that's been a while now, and I've just checked this, and these are nice and hard. So I'm just going to go ahead now and do some sanding. And because I did this with a belt sander, I'm starting off this time with 80. I usually start higher up, so I'm going to start with 80 and then work my way down to 150. All right, well, now it's time to put a top coat on this, and I think I'm going to put 3 coats on this. I'm using something new. I've never used this before. This is another Osmo product, a newer Osmo product. It's for decks, so this is an exterior finish, and I have done some testing on it. You can see that I've been doing some work here. There's 1, 2, 3, so that's the number of coats. I think I'm going to do 3 coats on this because it's end grain. This is all end grain on the top here. And this is the only Osmo product that I know of that you can actually paint on with a brush. And this top part is just going to suck in a lot of material because, again, it's end grain. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I'll fuss around with the edges after I get the top done so that you can actually see what the grain looks like here. And then we'll finish off. Okay, there's the finished slab, and you can see these little black spots where I used the cyanacrylate glue to fill little holes. I even filled some on the sides. You can't see where it is right now, and I had some success with that, but I think I'm going to go back on some of them and redo some of them because I think I can do a little bit better job now that I've got a little bit of glue in some of these areas. But before I go any further, I don't want to give it a second coat on anything because I want to install the legs first of all. So let me show you some detail of those legs and what I'm going to do. So here are the screws that were supplied with the legs. And once they're installed, you can see that there's about a 3/4 inch bite on those. And that's fine if you're using 3/4 inch wood, and depending on what you're doing, may be okay. Here's what I'm using. What a huge difference. Now I've got a much bigger slab on here that I need to hold down fast, and I just don't think I want to trust these little screws here. So what I've got is an insert. This is a special insert, German-made insert, and it's got a lot more threads on it than what you would see on something you might pick up at the local hardware store. So it's much deeper, got a lot more threads. It's metric, and so I had to go out and get some metric bolts, which is not a big deal, and once they get installed they will look like that once they're installed in the wood. So that's the next thing we're going to do. But before I do that, Woodworkers Guild of America is an amazing source of information and ideas. If you're a woodworker and you're making furniture, maybe you're making cutting boards, things for your family and shop, and you need specific ideas and information, Woodworkers Guild of America can be your guide. They are continually making new premium videos so your knowledge of woodworking will grow and be even more inspired. They have a full suite of instructional videos presented by friendly experts that walk you through each step of the techniques and demonstrations that they perform. Topics are wide-ranging from wood turning to wood finishes, tools, and of course all sorts of building ideas for jigs and adapters and things you want to build for your shop or home. They offer plans and courses you may be interested in. You can even connect with other woodworkers and share ideas and maybe even show off some of your projects. Woodworking is all about creating things with your own hands and the enjoyment that it brings. Woodworkers Guild of America can be a perfect access point for you to watch informative videos and tutorials at your own time in your own home. And during the frequent live streaming sessions, you can even engage with the instructors. But here's what's really cool. For the first 1,000 people to click on the link below in the description box, you will get a full 1-year premium membership to Woodworkers Guild of America for $1.49. That's right, a premium membership at Woodworkers Guild of America for $1.49. It's such a deal. As a member, you'll have access to all the things I've talked about and much more. Join Woodworkers Guild of America and boost your knowledge and inspiration today. Okay, all the legs are done. Let's flip that up and we can do the final coat of finish on the top. Oh, that's looking beautiful. Look at that. That's nice and sturdy. Well, there's the second coat and it's dried on there. You can see that it highlights the wood nicely, and even on the edges here there's just enough highlight there to help make that grain stand out. It's super solid. It's not going anywhere. It's rock solid, and it's nice and heavy, so the wind isn't going to blow it around when it gets out into the patio. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with the way this turned out. Well, and that concludes my video for today, making a live edge bistro table, and this turned out far better than I ever expected. I just love the grain on the outside of it and the wood grain on the inside and all the lines. It's just turned out beautiful. So I'm Colin for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching today.